Coming up on River City Presents, guitarist and singer-songwriter Devin Metzger. Welcome to River City Presents. I'm Daniel Hurt. Devin Metzger is a singer-songwriter and guitarist who's been featured here for many years. He's played California, he's played Kentucky and Tennessee. He's joining us on the program. He's got a couple of albums out, including Blue Bard, Doom Folk, which Songs for the End of the World, and Latter Day Bard, which is this vinyl right here. But before we get to Mr. Metzger, we're going to listen to him first. So if you'll join us in listening to Devin Metzger.
Called The River. Met a man in Mexico. I sold him my soul. We were best friends till the end. I drank, smoked, cheated my way through life every day, while I died living in sin. 'Cause I've been down on my luck and my knees, begging the Lord to answer me, please. Oh, take me away from this meaningless life. All I have is this fistful of change, a handful of pride. Also lived in sin. He ended up scheming on me. And so his life, it had to end. He made his choice back there and then. He was with my old gal, you see. 'Cause I've been down on my luck and my knees, begging the Lord to answer me, please. Take me away from this meaningless life. All I have is this fistful of rage and tears in my eyes as I walk down to the river. I see them dressed in white. They sang those hymns that bleed my ears. Oh, I'll never get back there. outside. And now no one will ever know just where she lies below, and I'll always have to hide. 'Cause I've been down on my luck and my knees, begging the Lord to answer me, please. Hey, take me away from this meaningless life. All I have is this fistful of rays, and case full of knives. As I walk down to the river, I see them dressed in white. They sing those hymns and bleed my ears. So I'll never get back to that night. So I'll never get back to that night. The song's called Old Crows and Cold Bones. While the moon hangs above this quiet town, the old crows pray for those cold bones in the ground. Street lamps flicker in the wind, and the shadow of a man wanders in. He stands alone. Adorned with bells and rusted chain, he's come to town to take your children away. They've misbehaved, so he's come for their lives. Now it's off to the Black Forest to pay for their crimes. They walk alone. I come around, oh, I come around, whether I want to or not. Oh, I come around, oh, I come around.
And we're back. Devin Metzger, welcome to the show.
Thanks a lot.
First, thankful that you're here because I've been trying to get you for quite some time,
Yeah.
and I love your music.
Thank you.
But you're right up the road. You're from Grays County, Wingo to be precise, right?
That's it. Wingo.
Tell me about your growing up life. How'd all that go?
I've claimed Wingo for a while. I was there from 8 years old to 17. Moved to Murray for Murray State after that. But yeah, lots happened in Wingo. You know, more than you'd expect.
Beautiful downtown Wingo, yes.
Yeah. I had band practice there through high school with my first band. That's really what how I, got the bug. Was that first band?
Yeah.
I blame everything on them.
Really? So I had the political bug probably when I was about 14. My mentor, Mike Cherry from Princeton, I was at the Capitol, and I was like, I don't exactly know what it is he does, but that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
So what age did you start playing music? When did you get that music bug?
So I started playing around 8 and just was always interested in songwriting, even as a child with not much heartache to write about, but that's what usually
Oh,
happened,
it all seems intense when you're living it, though,
yeah,
right?
Oh, yeah,
So.
yeah. So back to 8 years old, and then got real serious into the band scene and stuff around 15.
Mm-hmm. And you went to Murray State?
I did, yeah.
You said I heard, if I understand, you were a theater major, right? Why theater and not music? That's a bit of a surprise, maybe?
Yeah. For me, I could always have music throughout and do it on the side, make a little cash, gigging almost everywhere I've lived, even in Murray. So there's something so, honestly, it was now that you've asked, I have an answer. It was the program at Murray State that made me want to major in theater. Mm-hmm. I went for, I was not a student yet, but the semester before I enrolled, I went to Dracula.
Oh, like a theater production of that.
I went to Dracula at the Johnson Theater, and had done theater all through high school and really just loved it, and loved the escape. I loved acting mostly, but did a lot of backstage stuff, ran sound and stuff. So, always had an interest in it, and when I saw that show, I thought, if this can be here at Murray, so can I. I enrolled the next semester and had a great time for 3 years there at Murray.
You said that you had done theater in high school, so I know a little bit about Graves County schools. So did you do GCTV?
I didn't do any of that side. I was super into theater, and then soccer and martial arts really took the rest of all my free time.
And there are some other people that we know that went through Graves County schools that's involved with the show. Andy Dew, who works here, and Felicia Sullivan, who was Ellington back in the day from Year of October.
Yep. Great people.
But you did get into music, and so let's tell us about some of your previous bands and the work that you've done, like Paging Dr. Frank and all the others.
Locally famous, Paging Dr. Frank. We were together throughout high school, and that was just such a fun time. Very energetic, on the punk side of rock, but it was we would call it power pop because we thought we were funny. We all were funny guys, all four of us, and the name was neat, and it was definitely a lot of fun. Playing mostly the local scene. We traveled just a little bit, just outside the local area as teenagers,
When you were in Murray, did you play at Terrapin ever, or was that later?
A little later, when I moved back from California the second time. After a rehearsal, I was asked by my bass player at the time, a good friend, do you guys want to finish rehearsal at Terrapin? And I I thought, yes.
Yeah,
I've always wanted to play that venue, just because of how cool it is.
And can't turn down Tim Payton if
No.
they're ever asking. They're awesome and that's like the staple location to record in Murray too, or to play live. I mean,
definitely. Yeah, it's a really
but I was
unique
going to
venue.
ask you too. So what other bands did you play in? You were in a band that you record Latter Day Bard. Was that your solo work,
Yeah.
or was that with a group?
That was with a group. Really interesting. I had Latter Day Bard, thought of it. Not so much a brand guy, but some smart friends of mine were. So they wanted to take the brand and run with it and create a band around it. And so I kind of came up with all of that, wrote a lot in Chattanooga. I spent 11 months in Chattanooga and loved every second of it. Loved it. So wrote a lot, was inspired a lot, and was planning to move back to LA. I just needed a little break from that, between about 5 years total. So I moved back with this in mind. I really hung up acting to focus on this. And I was, really fine with that because of how serious we took it and how cool it was to just adapt all these songs into 6-piece rock band with keys, a cello.
Tell us who's in the band too. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was Paul Worth that was really interested in really branding it. We wrote a lot more together out there. Those songs are some of my favorites that Paul and I wrote together. Cemetery Song's one of them.
It's one of my favorites. I love that one.
We would turn them out when we were together, and I've had a few different relationships like that, which is so fun.
When you have a moment where you've met someone like that, and you just get on a streak, right? Like, and you just don't want to let it
Definitely.
go.
Yeah. And it's almost impossible to. One of you has something that both of you are gonna, really turn out the first time you work on it. So most of that's us. Wonderful friend of mine I met at Murray State. He was in Dracula. He was Dracula.
Wow. He played Dracula.
He played Dracula. There's a funny, So that's Justin Pennington. And so him and I attended Murray State together. We're in a couple of things together. Tons of fun. We were really close throughout that. And he gave me the opportunity to move to LA the first time. We were always doing music together. We had a duo in college, so we would book some things and had a great time with that. That was called Tall Trees, and then The Weathering, because we found another Tall Trees and thought, that can't work. So The Weathering is what we became. That was Latter Day Bard I had for years throughout my LA experience, and that was great because we pressed it on a vinyl, really checked a lot off of our list of things we always wanted to do, and got lucky with it. We had a guy, Paul knew, Daryl Porter on bass, super talented, great backup vocals, so that was awesome. Ryan Kuhn did backup vocals and keys. And then Aniela was her name on cello for the record. And that was great. She had toured with Cursive and stuff, and that was a big deal for us to book her.
How would you describe the sound of the album?
That one, I didn't produce that one, so I didn't get a lot of final say of where to take things and tones and stuff. That was much more up and rock and roll than my melancholy feel to the rest of it.
So a little different than what we've heard today.
It was a little different, which I love because it's some variety, and it turned out great. I was just talking to Justin, the drummer, and he said he had just talked to Paul, and they were talking about what a great album it was, and they both still, spin the thing. So, and I was like, yeah, I could agree with that. That was a pretty great album.
It's pretty great when you have confidence in your own work like that, yeah.
Yeah.
But you've got these other two that you've been working on, and the sound is doom folk, is how you've described it, and other people.
Yeah.
Can you tell us exactly what that means, and then I'll tell you what I got of it. But what did you?
Cool. Lots of the songs you just really have to let them come and then really record it, how it sounds, and then try to manipulate it here and there. But you'll get ideas for a record, or even how to describe your sound. I almost got tired of trying to. Not that I'm even that unique. I came to find out, after exploring the sound, thinking that I had something. not to say that I don't or they don't, but it's an entire category, you know, and it's really awesome. There's a band called Murder by Death.
I've heard of them.
I didn't let myself listen to them because we had the same instrumentation. They're from Indiana. Great sound. Everything about them, really rock and roll, but very moody and dark. Some of my favorite numbers are very dark from them, and purposefully I didn't let myself really dive into them when I heard about them, because we were working on that. We were right in the middle of it. So I couldn't let myself be influenced by a band so similar. But, you know, lots of folks are doing that dark, you know, kind of folky, yet really rock and roll elements to it. Devil Makes Three, I think they're from out in California, but they're very, you know, I just love that entire world.
What I heard when I listened to it is it's sort of like, it's melancholic, it's sort of apocalyptic themed.
Sure.
You know, I jokingly told somebody that it sounded like something that could have been in like The Walking Dead or something.
Awesome.
You could have played
Totally.
music like that.
Yeah.
And it just sounded familiar like that. Like that, it seemed like it would fit in something like that. And it has
really
a
cool.
storytelling element to it. Could you talk a little bit about that? How it's thematic. The whole albums are, right?
Yeah, definitely. You know, most of the songs, and most of them stand alone, like they're their own episode. You know, but a lot of them I pull from this very dark fantasy place. Those are the type of books I like to read, and I just love a good story.
Little Dungeons
Always
and Dragons,
have.
maybe.
Definitely,
or
definitely. You know, I thought about bringing one on that's going to be on my next, you know, collection of songs, which will be Volume 2 to Doomfolk.
I got it.
But it's called He Who Took the Balance. It's just all about this vampire who's in this league of assassins, and they think they're balancing things out.
You're going back to Dracula.
It's a whole thing. You're going back to Dracula. I love just pulling from different, creating a place, you know.
Well, and Cemetery Song has like the very feels very
yeah.
Western to me. You know,
Cool.
it's like
Yeah.
you know, my father was a pistol, but I'm a son of a gun.
Yeah.
I mean, you told me that was going to be on some of your branding, right? I mean,
Yes, so that was just printed on the shirt we did. Just a really small run. It's a pocket tee, black, and that's on the back underneath like a tombstone. Shelby, who engineered
Shelby
most
Preckless.
of my work, Shelby Preckless, he did the vinyl we pressed. It says right there, loud and clear. So he did that, Latter-day Bard, and then him and I did Blue Bard together, just us, and then Joshua Cornelius did bass.
Yes, sir.
He asked me if he could do bass, and I couldn't turn that down, that offer, because I was going to do all of it, and that's just one of the things I wanted to check off my list. Let me do all of the instrumentation on a record, and so that was really cool to check off the list. But I let him do bass because I knew he would just do a great job.
Oh, with his background in, you know, William Stilliam and his other previous work. But you know, and both of those people mean a lot to me, because a little bit of shameless plugging, but when we do our live shows in the studio with full bands, you know, Shelby Preckless and Randall Griggs have been great to us, and so we're eternally grateful to them. But and Josh Cornelius too at Inner Fire Studios. They're going to let us shoot our next live show there. So
awesome.
They're essential to the community, and we all know that. They've been helpful to you as well. Do you have an upcoming record that's the second part to Doomfolk, right?
Yeah,
So
it'll be the same way, just a live take from everything, just acoustic, very just stripped down version of the songs. And I've got most of them selected, I think, just not recorded.
Will we be seeing you play around live in town?
You know, I haven't. So I just got back. The family and I, we just moved back. It's been a bit over a month. And
what brought you back, if I may ask?
Work brought us back. I was stationed in Louisville as a mail carrier and a union steward, and found out I have a fracture at the top of my femur. So everything had to change. After finding that out, I've had hip pain for years, and it was good to find it out, but not great for work. So I did light duty for a bit and knew a move was inevitable if I'm not going to be working for the post office temporarily. So, yeah, we knew we could come home and have a bit of support, and we were planning to move back, really chomping at the bit. We just thought we'd have an extra year. So that was a pleasant surprise, getting to move back early and having that opportunity. And then she's done a super job. I knew she would. My partner, Andrea, taking on all the working full time, and I'm at home with the kids.
Yeah.
So we have 3 wonderful children. So.
And you were which union were you with? You said you were a union steward.
Yeah. It's the National Association of Letter Carriers.
Oh, I got it.
So city letter carriers is who we represent.
I worked in politics, so I just knew a little bit about that. We always worked with them.
Oh yeah.
But your music is available on streaming.
Yeah, those 2 you mentioned, my latest 2 are pretty exclusively only on Bandcamp right now. But you can stream them for free. It's really just a great thing for artists to be on Bandcamp.
Oh my goodness, it's such a wonderful platform.
Yeah. And you can purchase it there too. You know, the digital
copies are available.
Yep.
Well, we're going to get back to you, let you do your thing and do the second half of the show, and we will be right back with more Devin Metzger.
The song's called Demons. I've done a bad thing, left it all behind. Seems like them bad things, they always remind me of you. I've done some good things a couple days ago. Seemed like them good things, they make the bad less so. Ain't that true? Who asked you? Say I need medicine, keep the demons at bay. For me, I like letting them in, though they keep the people away. Yes, they do. So let's go, forget about those things in our past. We'll make new memories, and those, they won't last. Nothing does. It's called Cemetery Song. Angels, please arrest these demons in my head. They'll be understood once you've heard what I've said. So farewell to all the people I've done wrong. You're the reason for my cemetery song. This is my cemetery song. This is my cemetery song. This is my cemetery song. So will someone please contest these idle hands? They'll be the death of me. No one ever understands. So goodbye to myself whom I've done wrong. I'm the reason for my cemetery song. This is my cemetery song. This is my cemetery song. This is my cemetery song. So small, it's all or nothing. Do I even care at all? Somehow, along some way, I'll find out where I went wrong. But until that day, this is my cemetery song. This is my cemetery song. This is my cemetery song. This
we're back with Devin Metzger. Thank you, my friend, for coming on the show. It means a lot to me that you agreed to do this.
Of course. Thanks so much.
And we enjoy your friendship as well as Andrea's, and I hope the family's doing okay as they move back and as you move back. And but we're just glad that you were here.
Me
Thank
too.
you for being
Thanks
here.
a bunch. We are too. Thank you.
That was my guest, Devin Metzger, singer-songwriter from Graves County, back here on the show. I hope you'll join us next time. Thank you.